What's up, YouTube? I am the mark of the masses. I am the man with the plan. This is Big Gray, and I'm here to stay. And I'm about to talk about wrestling of yesterday and today. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Gray's Wrestling Show, episode number 2. And I am going to talk about the 1000th episode of Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is a show that's been on forever. It revolutionized the wrestling industry. And I'm going to jump right into it. This is my recap/review of the show. Again, I'd like to hear from you guys. I'd like to know what you thought of the show, so on and so forth. But we're going to jump right into this. So I don't have much time. So here we go. So segment number 1. And there were a bunch of mark-out moments for me. And my first mark-out moment was Vince McMahon coming down the aisle. Vince McMahon, I always mark out for Vince. I think Vince is fantastic. I think what he's done for the business is amazing. I think he's a genius, so on and so forth. I'm using all the cliches, but it is what it is. Vince McMahon is the man. Vince McMahon comes out and thanks everybody, for supporting his product. And we move right along, and he introduces D-Generation X, and you got Triple H and you got HBK coming down the aisle, and it's always nice to see DX coming down the aisle, and it's always nice to see DX. But DX has been just Triple H and HBK for the last couple of years. Now, the funny thing is that, when Triple H goes, weren't there more of us? I got really excited because, then down the ramp comes, Road Dogg, Jesse James, the badass, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac, the legit DX. I definitely marked out. I was kind of sad that China wasn't involved. I'm sure there are many reasons why. But basically, it was really cool. Now, I think the segment went on a little long, and I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like not Triple H. Well, I think they were all not really funny at all. Especially HBK. Shawn Michaels over the last couple of years, it feels like his humor is a little forced, and it was just dragging on and on. And then Damien Sandow comes in, and I think he actually kind of saved the segment a little bit. He came out with his whole shtick, and HBK gives him the super kick, Triple H gives him the pedigree, and it is what it is. It was really cool to see them, and doing the DX chop, DX. I was pretty excited over that, but other than that, I thought the segment was kind of boring, a little stale, and if it wasn't for having the original members of DX all together, which I think that's basically what it was. It was what it was. It was the DX members all together. It was a alright segment, nothing exciting. But we'll move on. So yes. So then, from there we see Jim Ross coming down the aisle, and Jim Ross always gets a pop. Monday Night Raw would not be Monday Night Raw without Jim Ross. So here we go. We got the first match of the night, which is Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, and Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio, Dolph Ziggler, and Y2J. Decent match. There was I think there was one botch that I remember where we had Sheamus trying to give I think it was Y2J a backbreaker or something like that, and they kind of botched the move a little bit. But other than that, Sheamus hits him with a bro kick, hits Y2J with a bro kick, and gets a clean victory over him. And I just want to comment really quickly. I like the fact that Y2J continues to put over young talent. Sheamus is considered a young talent, even though he's a world heavyweight champion. And it seems like he's really giving back to the wrestling community. He's really giving back to the boys in the locker room. And it's good to see, somebody who's a legend. Chris Jericho is a legend. It's good to see him give back and allow all these up-and-coming wrestlers to get clean victories over him, So that, it was a pretty decent match again. It was what it was. I think all the matches were basically fillers for the vignettes and the segments, if that makes any sense to you. But it was what it was from that point on. So the team of Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, and Sheamus, they go over, so they win the match. And then you have a quick segment with Charlie Sheen, the King, and Michael Cole, and on Skype. And I gotta be honest with you, man, I'm not gonna really comment on Charlie Sheen. I know why they brought him in. It is what it is. I could have did without Charlie Sheen. What I was upset about was the fact that Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't part of the show. I mean, they showed a whole bunch of clips of Stone Cold, but listen, if you're gonna have Charlie Sheen on Skype from California, then maybe you could have worked out having Stone Cold Steve Austin live from Texas if he couldn't be at the show. Anything. Charlie Sheen, I don't know. These movie stars and these TV stars always seem to be a little bit out of place, especially the ones that you can tell that aren't really marks or aren't really wrestling fans. You know, they're just there for the paycheck, and I have no comment really, no further comment about that situation. So Charlie Sheen, it is what it is. So we'll just move on, and we see a backstage segment with Layla and AJ, and you know, Layla's like, you know, are you sure you want to marry him? And you know, AJ's AJ's like, why does everybody always ask me that? You know, I love her character. I think she's hilarious. But you know, they open the door of the locker room. You see Mae Young standing there with a giant hand, a young man dressed in a hand outfit. And basically, you know, if you remember back in the day, Mae Young during the Attitude Era had a sexual relationship with sexual chocolate Mark Henry, and she gave birth to a hand. And the hand is now all grown up, and she's showing off her son. And I think the segment was stupid. It was goofy. It was sticky, but it was funny, and it was what it was. It was just like a nice little tribute to that whole thing back in the day. So that was pretty cool. Then we're gonna go on to the next match, which is Funkasaurus versus Jack Swagger, and it was a squash match basically. Markout moment number 2 was seeing my main man Mick Foley as Dude Love coming down the aisle and dancing with the Funkadactyls and the Funkasaurus. And I'm telling you, I respect Mick Foley so much. I think he loves the business so much, and I love his characters. And Dude Love actually wasn't one of my favorite characters, but it was kind of cool to see him with the tie-dye, you know, Sacco, and it was pretty cool. So I kind of, believe it or not, marked out for that segment. It was pretty cool, but it was what it was. So then we go to the backstage, and then we see Triple H and Trish Stratus. And I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, Trish Stratus, you know, Triple H I think he was helping Trish stretch, and he had her like in the doggy style position, and Stephanie McMahon came in, and it was a little bit of a problem. And this time around, it was pretty much the same thing, but reverse. Trish was bending Triple H over, and then DX comes in, and it was kind of like a whole stupid segment. And X-Pac, I don't know if it's just me, but X-Pac looked like either he was high or he was really drunk. I hope that's not just how he looks. But he's had a hard life. But yeah, well, I mean, that segment was what it was. It was a cute little one. But we're gonna move into one of the major segments of the program, and this is the wedding between AJ and Daniel. Yes, Bryan. Very, 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 very interesting. And I'm gonna bring a quick point. Tell me if you guys noticed this. In the backstage area, you have Daniel Bryan with 3 guys who I think work for a psychiatric ward, and I thought that he was gonna have AJ committed, you know, once she said yes, because you know he would be legally married to her, and then he would just basically, you know, screw her over, you know what I'm saying, to get her out of the way. But you know, Reverend Slick comes down the aisle, and really quick about Reverend Slick, you know, Slick comes down, who I think is one of the best managers of all time. I love his character, but you know, if it was just, you know, I don't know if it was just me, but he really didn't get a pop. He got pretty much no reaction from the crowd, and I marked out a little bit. It's another mark out moment, but I don't know if his character would carry over nowadays, leaving like this. I don't know if a lot of the young crowd even know who he was, but you know, he comes out, and we'll rush this along, and Slick starts, you know, performing the ceremony, and obviously Daniel Bryan says yes, and AJ says yes, but who does she say yes to? Apparently she is saying yes to another man, and this man is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon proposed to her to be the new general manager of Raw. She leaves Daniel Bryan at the altar. We don't see the guys coming in with the white coats coming to get her. She pulled a fast one on him, and this is going to be interesting. AJ, you know, as far as I know, AJ's character is very, very, very over. It's really over with the WWE, and every segment that she's on, they get really good ratings. So, you know, she's fresh, she's new, she's different. You know, she's a cute girl. I guess she's decent on a mic. She's not a bad wrestler, but I want to see where they're going to go with this. So I'm just interested right now. I'd like to know what you guys think. Please leave me a video response or send me an email. But that was that. So we'll move on from there. And again, I'm rushing through a lot of the moments. So we have so Daniel Bryan's in the ring, and then all of a sudden CM Punk comes in, and he cuts a promo, and Daniel Bryan, basically says, he's gonna win the championship, and he's, they're going back and forth, and then the People's Champion, The Rock, comes down the aisle. He comes down the People's aisle, and The Rock basically, challenges CM Punk. He's basically telling him, look, man, if you have the championship, I'm taking you out, and and Daniel Bryan tries to interject himself, and The Rock says one of the funniest lines I've heard in a long time, where he says that Daniel Bryan is basically the cross between a homeless lumberjack and Oompa Loompa. He also called him Frodo. I think The Rock is flawless on the mic. He's hilarious. He can be away for 10 years, and guess what? You know what? I think he's still the man. He is the man. The Rock is awesome. And I know I'm marking out. Yes, I marked out for The Rock, by the way. That's another mark out moment. So basically, The Rock, the segment ends where The Rock, tells Daniel Bryan, The Rock has a gift for you. And he smiles and hits him with the rock bottom, and segment over, we move on from there. So we go on to the Intercontinental Championship. The fans voted on this match, and it was nice to see Bret Hitman Hart. We see Bret Hitman Hart a lot, so I really didn't mark out. I mean, I always get a little nostalgic when I see him, but they use him as an announcer, and I thought it was perfect. It was for what it was what it was. Have Bret Hitman Hart on the show, and he really put over the Intercontinental Championship. And I think it's about time. The Intercontinental Championship is probably the most prestigious title alongside the WWE Championship. I think it's even more prestigious, in my opinion, than the World Heavyweight Championship. But we'll just move on. Excuse me. So we have a decent match between Christian and The Miz. And, Christian ends up hurting his knee during the match. And that leaves The Miz to cleanly beat him, with the skull-crushing finale. And it was pretty cool, man. I really like The Miz as the Intercontinental Champion. I really think his character will put over that championship. He's great on the mic. I think he's really good as a wrestler. I mean, a lot of people, crap on him and stuff, but I think he's good, man. But I want to see where they go with this also. I like The Miz's new look. They got the stubble, the slick back hair, the long black trench coat. Really cool. It seemed like he genuinely was happy to have that title. And I'm very happy that they're putting over the Intercontinental Championship. But let's move on again to the next segment. And this is a big one. This is where they have Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar. Let me just mention this. If it wasn't for Paul Heyman, I think that the whole Triple H Brock Lesnar feud would suck. It would be just a match. Paul Heyman brings the fire. He brings the pepper. He pours that pepper all over that steak, man. He makes it spicy. He knows how to draw in a crowd. And I think he's fantastic. And I'm really, really excited I was really excited to see Paul Heyman, and he cut a great promo making fun of Triple H's kids. And and Triple H got really offended. Don't make fun of my kids, and it was pretty funny, man. I mean, he made fun of Triple H's kids, and Triple H got offended, and then he apologizes. Oh, I'm sorry, I stepped over the line, and he does it again. And Stephanie gets involved, and Stephanie comes down the aisle and starts smacking the living crap out of him. And she was really, really, I think she sold it, man. I could really feel that, that she was really upset that he was making fun of the kids. But anyway, long story short, they're beating the crap out of basically Paul Heyman. Triple H is there laughing, and Brock Lesnar comes down the aisle, and everything changes at that moment. And long story short, Brock Lesnar, comes down, and I was really surprised to see that Brock Lesnar allowed Triple H to put him over. I mean, to go over him and to kick his butt a little bit, throw him out of the ring. But I think they're going tit for tat. I think it is what it is. I'm pretty sure that the next Monday Night Raw, Brock Lesnar he'll probably do something. I'm interested to see. And Paul Heyman's a dynamic that really makes this feud interesting. But anyway, that's the end of part 1 of my review and recap of Monday Night Raw. Check out part 2 coming up next.